But I see dear Dr. Chasuble coming up through the garden.
Dr. Chasuble, this is indeed a pleasure.
And how are we this morning, Miss Prism? I trust you are well.
Oh, Miss Prism has just been complaining of a slight headache. I think it will do her so much good to have a short stroll in the park with you, dear Dr. Chasuble.
Cicely, I have not mentioned anything about a headache.
No, I know that, Miss Prism, but I felt instinctively that you had one. Indeed, I was thinking about that, and not my German lesson, when the rector came in.
Cicely, I hope you're not being an attendant.
Oh, I'm afraid I am.
That is strange. Were I fortunate enough to be Miss Prism's pupil, I would hang upon her lips. I spoke metaphorically. My metaphor was drawn from bees.
I do not think you will require neckties. Uncle Jack is sending you to Australia.
Australia? I'd sooner die.
Well, he said at dinner on Wednesday night that you would have to choose between this world, the next world, and Australia.
Oh, well, the accounts I've received of Australia and the next world are not particularly encouraging. This world is good enough for me, Cousin Cicely.
Yes, but are you good enough for it?
Mr. Worthing,
Mr. Worthing!
this is indeed a surprise. We did not expect you to mind our afternoon.
I have returned sooner than I expected. Dr. Chasuble, I hope you're well.
Dear Mr. Worthing, I trust this garb of woe does not betoken some terrible calamity.
My brother.
No painful depths and extravagance. Still living a life of pleasure?
Dead.
Your brother Earnest, dead.
Yes, quite dead. It reminds me, Dr. Chasuble, you mentioned christenings. You know how to christen, right? I mean, you are continually christening, are you not?
As is, I regret to say, one of the rector's most constant duties in this parish. I've often spoken to the poorer classes on the subject, but they don't seem to know what drift is.
Have you seen any particular infant in whom you're interested in, Mr. Worthing? Your brother was, I believe, unmarried, was he not?
Yes.
People who live entirely for pleasure usually are.
This is not for any child, dear doctor. No, the fact is, I would like to be christened myself. This afternoon, if you had nothing better to do.
But surely, Mr. Worthing, you have been christened already.
I don't remember anything about it. Good heavens! Brother John, I have come down from town to tell you how very sorry I am for all the trouble I have given you, and that I intend to lead a better life in the future.
Uncle Jack, you are not going to refuse your own brother's hand.
Nothing will induce me to take his hand. I think his coming down here disgraceful. He knows perfectly well why.
Uncle Jack, do be nice. There is some good in everyone. Ernest has just been telling me about his poor invalid friend, Mr. Bunbury. And surely there must be much good in one who leaves the pleasures of London to sit by a bed of pain.
Now, he's been talking to you about Bunbury, has he?
Yes, he's told me all about poor Mr. Bunbury and his terrible state of health.
Well, I won't let him talk to you about Bunbury or about anyone else. It's enough to drive him perfectly frantic.
Cicely, the dog cart is waiting, sir. Tell it to come round next week at the same hour. Yes, sir.
Uncle Jack would be very much annoyed if he knew you were staying on to next week at the same hour.
Oh, I don't care about Jack. I don't care about anybody in the world but you. I love you, Cicely. You will marry me, won't you?
You silly boy. Of course. Why, we've been engaged for the past 3 months.
Past 3 months?
Yes, it will be exactly 3 months on Thursday.
But how did we become engaged?
Well, ever since dear Uncle Jack first confessed to us that he had a younger brother who was very wicked and bad, you, of course, formed chief topic of conversation between myself and Miss Prism. And, of course, a man who was much talked about Sugar?
No, thank you. Sugar is not fashionable anymore.
Cake or bread and butter?
Bread and butter, please. Cake is not fashionable anymore.
Hand that to Miss Fairfax.
You have filled my tea with lumps of sugar, and though I asked most distinctly for bread and butter, you have given me cake. I am known for the gentleness of my disposition and the extraordinary sweetness of my nature, but I warn you, Miss Cardew, you may go too far.
I thought there must have been some mistake, Miss Fairfax. The gentleman whose hand you are currently holding is my guardian, Mr. John Worthing. I beg your pardon. This is Uncle Jack. Jack! Oh! Ah, here's Ernest.
My own love.
A moment, Ernest. May I ask you, are you engaged to be married to this young lady?
To what young lady? Good heavens, Gwendolyn!
Yes, to good heavens, Gwendolyn.
Of course not. What could have put such an idea into your pretty little head?
Thank you. You may. I felt there must be some slight error, Miss Cardew. The man who is now holding your hand is my cousin, Mr. Algernon Moncrief. Ooh, Algernon Moncrief. Is your name really Algernon?
I cannot deny it.
Are you really called John?
I could deny it if I liked. I could deny anything if I liked. But my name certainly is John.
It's very vulgar to talk about one's business. Only people like stockbrokers do that, and then merely at dinner parties.
How can you sit there calmly eating muffins when we're in this horrible trouble I can't make out? You seem to me to be perfectly heartless.
Well, I can't eat muffins in an agitated manner. The butter will probably get on my cusps. One should always eat muffins quite calmly. It's the only way to eat them.
Well, I say it's perfectly heartless you're eating muffins at all under the circumstances.
When I'm in trouble, eating is the only thing that consoles me. Indeed, when I'm in really great trouble, as anyone who knows me intimately will tell you, I refuse everything except food and drink. At the present moment, I am eating muffins because I am unhappy. Besides, I am particularly fond of muffins.
Well, there's no reason why I should eat them all that greedy way.
I wish you would have tea cake instead. I don't like tea cake.
Dickens, I suppose a man may eat his own muffins in his own garden.
You have just said it was perfectly heartless to eat muffins.
I said it was perfectly heartless of you under the circumstances. That is a very different thing.
Let us preserve a dignified silence. Certainly, it is the only thing to do now. This dignified silence seems to produce an unpleasant effect, a most distasteful one, but we will not be the first to speak. Certainly not. Mr. Worthing.
I'm engaged to be married to Gwendolyn, Lady Cracknell.
You are nothing of the kind, sir. And now, as regards Algernon,
Yes, Aunt Augusta?
may I ask if it is in this house that your invalid friend, Mr. Bunbury, resides?
No, Bunbury doesn't live here. Bunbury is somewhere else at present. In fact, Bunbury is dead.
Dead? When did Mr. Bunbury die? His death must have been extremely sudden.
Oh, I killed Bunbury this afternoon. I mean, poor Bunbury died this afternoon.
What did he die of?
Bunbury? Oh, he was quite exploded. My dear Aunt Augusta, I mean, he was found out. The doctors found out that Bunbury could not live, so poor Bunbury died.
Gwendolyn, at last.
My nephew, you seem to be displaying signs of triviality.
On the contrary, Aunt Augusta, I've now realized, for the first time in my life, the vital importance of being earnest.
Lady Bracknell. Gwendolyn, what does this mean?
Merely that I'm engaged to Mr. Worthing, Mamma.
Come here. Sit down immediately. Hesitation of any kind is a sign of physical weakness in the young and of mental decay in the old.
I'm engaged to be married to Gwendolyn, Lady Bracknell.
You are nothing of the kind, sir. And as regards Algernon. Thank you, Aunt Augusta.
Thank you, Lady Bracknell.
Cecily, you may kiss me. You may also address me as Aunt Augusta for the future.
Thank you, Aunt Augusta.
The marriage, I think, had better take place quite soon.
I beg your pardon for interrupting you, Lady Bracknell, but it is only fair to tell you that I am Miss Cardew's guardian, and she cannot marry without my consent until she comes of age. That consent I absolutely decline to give.
Upon what grounds, may I ask? Algernon is an extremely, I may also say, ostentatiously eligible young man. He has nothing but looks everything. What more can one desire?